Amid this global coronavirus pandemic, every country, including India, is going to see a big job loss. And in today's video, we will discuss what changes can we expect in the entire work culture in the country. So one thing is sure that impact on economy is inevitable, and India is already going through an economic slowdown. And if we specifically talk about job loss, Purva, the International Labour Organization has predicted that almost 2.5 crore people in the world are going to lose their jobs. But the bigger concern is how long will we take to recover from there?
Yeah.
Because the time of recovery over the years has increased. During the 1991 recession in India, it took us almost 15 months to recover, and this time increased to 39 months in 2001. And especially if we talk about the 2008 Great Recession, it took us 43 months to significantly recover from there. So we don't know how long we are going to take to recover. If I specifically talk about the aviation industry, the hospitality industry, the malls, the unorganized sector, we're not sure if the employer is going to rehire everybody who has been fired.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that gets stuck here.
Yeah, and I think another important factor, as you had mentioned, is the change in the job culture this pandemic has brought. Because in order to, in order to maintain social distance and not to transmit the virus more, the companies are going more towards work from home right now for a particular period of time. But the main concern here is that people are assuming that this is going to be just for this particular time frame. But what if the companies realize that the work from home culture is more profitable for the company? Then why would they not promote this culture? Not immediately, but eventually. Because if you look at a typical office setup, then the company has to spend on the rental space, on the tea, coffee that employees get daily, on the transportation, on watchmen, maids, a lot of other things. So all this expenditure will be cut down if there is work from home. And this COVID-19 has now brought kind of an immediate testing time period, testing period for the companies to check whether this will be beneficial or not. And now if they realize that the employees are maintaining the same productivity rate, then what's the harm? And I think one of the most important things here is that the companies have already set up the infrastructure at the places of the staff at their own homes. So the infrastructure is set, and it's just like they're just waiting to see what is going to happen next. And I think this entire thing is going to challenge the typical assumption of our office setup work culture.
Full-time work culture. Exactly. And there are certain very specific changes that we can expect in the coming time. The first is that contractual work or short-term work, and if you can say freelancing, is going to get promoted. Because people if they're working from home, they will only be paid for the time they work or on the basis of their output. That's one. And for individuals, for the employees, it will be that they will be able to take multiple responsibilities or multiple roles. So some short-term works and freelancing for different firms. That's one. Second is, as you mentioned, that companies will realize they are getting profit during this sort of work culture. This will also promote remote working culture. Because anybody, you don't have to shift to Bangalore, Delhi, or Mumbai to work. You can work from wherever from wherever you are.
Your hometown.
That's where. So companies will definitely, as you mentioned, will cut their cost on various things. Second, we are already in March, and the companies will definitely be going to calculate their quarterly, profits and quarterly incomes. And if they realize or when they realize that it is getting profitable, they might promote this. So this is the time that this whole work culture, this work from home culture might boom.
And I think one more important point for the companies to see will be an increase in the workforce. Because this will definitely be more like this will provide more opportunity for women to work. Because this will provide a good balance for women to balance their work culture and the family time, family life. Because especially in India, this has been one of the reasons why women do not go out and work. And another change that it is going to bring is in how the employee who's working from home is going to look at his individual overall growth.
Right.
Because see, if you are in office, you meet different people, you make new contacts, and you learn things. The exposure is more, right? But if you are at home, you'll have to upskill all of that by yourself. You'll have to make lifestyle changes, and in order to grow with the world, because as you said, everybody will be multitasking, and you'll have to up your game to reach that level.
Right.
And in offices, it's easy to see which employee is good, which is not, because it's visibly there. But if you're working from home, you will have to make more efforts to prove that you are better than others, and to prove your work there.
Right.
And yeah,
I think the universities and the college, the education institutions, because taking from your point, they will have to redesign. They might have to redesign their courses for short-term courses.
Right.
See, 3-4 year degree programs are already in practice. But given this requirement, they will have to offer more online courses and crash courses, or sort of very skill-based centric courses. So this is going to see a change in the approach of educational institutions. Yes.
And also about the people, because as you said, they'll be multitasking, so they wouldn't want to settle in one place. So there will be a lot of changes due to that as well.
Right. And another important thing is that the income might become very unpredictable, because since if you're on contract, or if you're freelancing, so that if that sector booms, the unpredictable income will be there.
Yeah.
That will cause that will force people to shy away from owning assets, such as big assets such as houses, cars. So that might promote, or that might give a push to the renting culture, rental housing culture, and carpooling, cab sharing culture. That might be other one, because when you become a digital nomad, that's the term, digital nomad, then you prefer not to, I think, not to own many assets.
Yeah. And as the world has already, like all the big countries have digitized themselves, and India is already on a path for digital India. And this was like a sudden test, as I told you earlier, for the companies and both the employees and the employers to check the productivity rate in this new culture. So here the digital term is going to play a key role in this new expected work culture. And I think the government, if it has to be proactive, needs to tie up with the corporate sector and build similar policies so as to match the new changing job roles.
Right.
So you keep staying with us, keep watching Swarajya. We'll get you new updates every day.